When it comes to center field, you want your center fielder to be fast. The center fielder has an awful lot of room that they need to cover. Also, you want your center fielder to be a leader. The center fielder is supposed to direct the outfield so that if there's a ball that may be to right center or left center, the center fielder is the one making the call on who should be catching the ball, the right fielder or the center fielder, or the left fielder or the center fielder. With respect to the right fielder, you want your right fielder to have a strong arm, and that's because your right fielder may need to throw the ball all the way across the field to third base to try to get a batter out. Now, what about your left fielder? What kind of qualities do you want in a left fielder? Well, for your left fielder, you want a good hitter. And here, we're going to talk about the top 5 left fielders in Phillies history. Welcome to Philadelphia Baseball History. On this channel, we talk about the history of baseball from the A's to the Phillies to the 19th century. And sometimes we talk about contemporary baseball issues. So if you love baseball and if you love Philadelphia, stick around and subscribe to our channel. Let's start off with a little word on my ranking system. You see, left field is a very interesting position. Longevity is a big hallmark for Phillies left fielder. There were 5 players when I did my research, all of whom played for 9 seasons or more for the Phillies. And that means that these men, they counted for somewhat less than half of the Phillies' entire existence. Otherwise, you had people who played left field for maybe 2, 3, 1 season. And that's why in this particular video, instead of showing top 5 left fielders and taking a break to talk about honorable mentions, I'm only going to talk about top 5 left fielders. Now, interestingly, I did not start off with the intention of ranking players by their wins above replacement or WAR while they were with the Phillies. Instead, I looked at various measurements. I looked at things like batting average, the amount of home runs, RBIs, runs scored, the number of hits, the number of all-star appearances, maybe how long they played with the Phillies. And just for the heck of it, after I had preliminarily come up with my list and put them in order, I looked at WAR, and I found something very interesting. As it turned out, I wound up ranking the players based on their WAR with the Phillies. So, with no further ado, let's get into the list. Number 5, Pat Burrell. Pat Burrell was one of those homegrown players who helped build the Phillies into that powerhouse in the early to late aughties. And by aughties, I mean like from 2000 through 2010. Burrell broke into the majors at age 23, knocking in 79 runs while hitting 18 home runs. He came in 4th place in his rookie season for Rookie of the Year voting. Burrell then became a staple of left field. He stayed with the Phillies for 9 seasons. During that time, he hit 251 home runs and knocked in 827 RBIs, all while scoring 655 runs. After the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, Burrell became a free agent, and coincidentally, he signed with the very team that the Phillies had beaten in the World Series, the Tampa Bay Rays. Listed at number 10 in the Phillies' all-time RBIs list and listed in number 4 in the Phillies' all-time home runs list, Burrell was inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame in 2015. Number 4, Greg Luzinski.
Now batting for the Phillies, number 19, left fielder Greg Luzinski.
The Bull. Greg Luzinski was my favorite player growing up in the 1970s, and with good reason. With Luzinski's strength, he routinely hit monster home runs into the upper deck of Veterans Stadium. In fact, his great strength inspired some of the best animation in the Vets' outfield scoreboard. In his 11 seasons with the Phillies, Luzinski was an all-star 4 times, and he made it into the top 10 in the National League MVP voting in those same 4 seasons. The Bull sits at number 7 in all-time Phillies home runs. Luzinski also played a key role in defeating the Astros in the 1980 NLCS, and that was the closest NLCS in Major League history. And of course, without moving past the Astros that year, the Phillies would have never won their first World Championship in that year. And now, the Bulls Barbecue? It's one of my favorite and regular stops for food whenever I attend a game at Citizens Bank Park. Plus, it's an awful lot of fun to see the Bull and John Kruk interact when it comes to modern Phillies broadcasts. Number 3, Del Ennis. A member of the Whiz Kids, Del Ennis was a major contributor to the Phillies' 1950 National League pennant-winning season. That year, Ennis led the National League with 126 RBIs. He also hit 31 home runs and sported a batting average of .311. He was 4th in the National League MVP voting. In fact, he lost out to his teammate Jim Constanti, who is the only relief pitcher to ever win the National League Most Valuable Player Award. After 11 seasons with the Phillies, Ennis had a batting average of .286. He also hit 259 home runs and knocked in 1,124 runs. Ennis is still number 4 on the Phillies' all-time RBI leaders, and he's number 3 in all-time Phillies home runs. And this 3-time All-Star, Del Ennis, just edged out Greg Luzinski for the number 3 spot on our list. Number 2, Sherry Magee. Even though Sherry Magee played in the dead ball era, he was still a power hitter. In his 11 years with the Phillies, he led the National League in RBIs 3 times, and he led the majors once. He ended up with 886 RBIs, which is good enough for number 9 on the Phillies' all-time list. His 75 Phillies home runs are actually quite impressive, considering that he played all of his career in the dead ball era. He ended his time with the Phillies batting .299 and having scored 898 runs, which is number 9 on the all-time Phillies list. In fact, the main reason that Sherry Magee is not in the Hall of Fame is because he gets tainted by playing most of his career with the Baker Bowl as his home field. The Baker Bowl, of course, has that short right field porch, and many Phillies players are tainted by that fact because it's believed that many of their home runs was due to that short right field porch. Although, in an earlier video, I showed how Magee's lifetime home runs were pretty much evenly split between home and away, so the home field advantage of the Baker Bowl really didn't come into play when it came to his home run total. How do you show your home team pride? With mugs, t-shirts, masks, phone cases, tote bags, and so much more. Check out tpublic.com and search for Philadelphia baseball history. And now, the number 1 left fielder in Phillies history, Ed Delahanty. Many people may know Ed Delahanty because of the tragic way that he died in the Niagara River in 1903. But the fact that Delahanty's death is still part of the collective memory of baseball, well, that's just a testament to how good of a player he was. His death was shocking because he was the reigning American League batting champion. And quite frankly, that was just a continuation of his 13 seasons with the Phillies. Delahanty hit over 400 4 times with the Phillies. He ended his Phillies career with a .348 batting average. In 1894, Delahanty was part of a Phillies outfield that made history. That was the only time that all 3 outfielders on the same team all hit over 400. And that is the only team that sported 3 Hall of Fame outfielders. Delahanty led the majors in home runs twice, he led the majors in RBIs 3 times, and he led the majors in triples once. Ed Delahanty is still number 4 on the Phillies' all-time hits list, In fact, he's number 2 in the all-time Phillies RBI list, runs scored list, and batting average. And he's still number 1 in Phillies all-time triples. Delahanty was inducted into the Phillies Hall of Fame. He's also a Hall of Famer. But despite his Hall of Fame career, his longevity with the Phillies, his superstar status as a Philly, the fact that he's still near the top or at the top in numerous Phillies offensive categories, he still does not have a P retired for him the way Chuck Klein and Grover Cleveland Alexander did. And the two of them have a P because, well, Chuck Klein changed his number numerous times, and Alexander, he played at a time before players put a number on their back. So did Delahanty. He never played with a number on his back. And the fact that he does not have a P retired for him the way Alexander and Klein do, well, that's a huge oversight in Phillies history. So as you can see, offense is very important when it comes to your left fielder. And all the Phillies on this list are still in the top 10 of many Phillies offensive categories, such as RBIs or home runs or hits or batting average. So now it's your turn. What do you think of this list? Do you think I missed someone? Would you have ordered them differently? Let me know in the comments section, and don't forget to do all the YouTube things like share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you have any ideas for topics that we can cover in the future, please let us know in the comments below. If you would like to see more of these videos, please consider becoming a patron through Patreon. Again, we'll have a link in the description box below.